YouTube. Found out that my last video was too long for trying to do the Sega game, so I'm going to try this again, cutting it down a little bit this time. So we're going to cover my Master System, my Genesis, and my CD collection. Let's start off. These are the only Master System games I have. Unfortunately, they're all loose. And you can see I have labeled them. So Afterburner, Alien Syndrome, Ghouls and Ghosts, Hang On, and Shanghai. I do want to get the light gun for the Safari Hunt on the Hang On, but it's not really a high priority on my list right now. So move on into the loose Genesis. So we have the second Echo game, The Tides of Time, Fatal Fury 2, the Genesis 6-pack, which I picked up, so I have the original Golden Axe and the original Streets of Rage, and Columns. I had a standalone Columns. I gave that away to a friend once I picked this up. And there's Revenge of Shinobi. And we got Gunstar Heroes, which was one of my better thrift store finds for the Genesis, and Klax. So on to the next stack. We have Master of Monsters, Might and Magic Gates to Another World, which is, both these are part of my backlog. Miss Pac-Man, not sure I'm going to keep that one. NBA Jam, I think this is the only basketball game I have, unless it's in a compilation. Paperboy, because the PS1 copy compilation I have, the Paperboy doesn't work quite right on that. Okay, Pirate Card of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's in Japanese, unfortunately, so I can't really play it. Sonic Spinball, Streets of Rage 2, pirate bootleg of the unreleased Tetris that Sega developed, Top Gear 2, one of the few racing games I own, Tournament Fighters, Vector Man, and Virtua Racing. Tournament Fighters is not the greatest fighter, but what can you do with that? Okay, so on to the SegaCD games, and these are all in my gaming backlog right now. So Dune, Pitfall, Rebel Assault, and Stellar Fire. Dune is the only one that's not actually complete. I don't have the manual for it. All the rest of these guys, I've got the manuals. Obviously, my PS1 long box games, we'll go ahead and suck these in. I blame Mike. He's the one who got me back into the major video gaming thing by showing me these old PS1 collections. He's the reason I even have a I even had a PS1. And Destruction Derby, no manual for that. Okay, and with the exception of the last game, these are all complete copies here. So we've got Aladdin, got Championship Pool, Earthworm Jim, which I do have to play through at some point, or at least make a definite effort at it. Echo the Dolphin, same thing, have to play through it. Golden Axe 2, between this and Golden Axe 1, I've got something when I've got a friend over that we can play. Maximum Carnage, I've played through it a little bit. It's a decent beat-em-up. Monopoly, which actually lets me play the game by myself if I really feel the urge to be an amoral monopolist trying to bankrupt everybody else. Shadow Dancer, Sonics 1 through 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. Very much a requirement that my collection have those. Okay, so Super Street Fighter 2. I had more of the Street Fighter games between this and the Super Nintendo. It's like, you know, I'm just going to get myself down to 2 of them, and this was the Genesis one. This was the only copy of Super I had, so it had to stay. Of course, some baseball. I think I've got one other baseball game, but I don't play them much. The Turtles, Hyperstone Heist. It's a beat-em-up. It was definitely well worth the few bucks I paid for it. And then, this is no manual to this. Another one that I'm going to have to play through. I actually picked that up because of some fan fiction I read that had Funkotron as a setting. very, very long story, and I don't think I've got time in the 15-minute gap to actually go into that. So anyway, that's my Sega collection, at least up through. She'll go ahead and add the Dreamcast games outside of the demo pack that was included with my Dreamcast. Got Crazy Taxi, Dragon Riders Chronicles of Pern. I am a dragon lover. I've read several of the Dragon Riders of Pern books. Though I really need to get back into reading some of those. The only hockey game I own, this actually came with my console. Quake 3, this came with my console. I probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. Of course, Sonic Adventure also came with the console. I probably would have bought this one myself. And the original web browser disc for my console. And let's go ahead and get into my Sega Game Gear games. Yes, I've got a Game Gear. Let me go ahead and pick that up and show it to you. So yeah, here it is. Needs a little bit of dusting. Yes, I've got the wide gear adapter. I've also got the power supply to use with it. So anyway, another copy of Columns. Can't have it without Columns. Super Columns. Fantasy Zone. I want to get the Master System version of Fantasy Zone. It'll make playing it so much easier. Bust a Move. Jin. Sonic Triple Trouble. Sonic 2, and Sonic 1. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully in my next video I'll be able to get onto the rest of the collection. And we'll see you all later.